Hey, I'm Bonita.
And I'm Drew.
And we're
The Goodwin.
That's right. We've been married for 25 years.
Wow, 25 years. That's a long time.
Yup. We have
5 children.
That's
Uno,
right.
dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
And we've been volunteering here at the Myrtle Beach State Park for
About 15 years, give or take a few years.
yeah, something like that. But we love being outside. We love camping, hiking.
Well, fishing sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually considered the fire guy. I do all the fires and all that good stuff. And
I
I'm
do all the food.
survivalist. Yeah, she cooks.
Yep. So if it's outside, we love doing it.
Got that right.
Today,
We're gonna get you fired up about campfires.
what he said.
Today I'm going to show you a couple different fires that you can make in your own fire circle, and we're going to be talking about the teepee style, which is self-explanatory, and then the log cabin style fire. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so very important before you begin, you want to separate your wood into like the smallest wood first and gradually get larger. The smaller stuff is going to be used as the original structure of your fire to get things going, and then you're going to add a little bit of this as your fire gets a little bit bigger, and all the rest of this stuff you're going to throw on at the end. So our first fire we're going to be doing today is the teepee style fire, and what I normally do is you're going to make yourself a little teepee in the fire circle, because that's going to create some air for your fire to blow from underneath. You want to lay a couple sticks across this as sort of a platform for what you're going to need to start your fire with. Now what I use is just normal cotton balls, and you don't want to keep these together because they'll burn really fast. So you want to separate these and just kind of set them on your little platform here. You don't have to have them completely separated, but enough that you can get a spark in there. And I'm going to use 4, only because I have a whole bag of cotton balls. You could even soak these in alcohol, and that'll keep these from burning too quickly. And I have some wood shavings. I just kind of shaved off of a log. You can either use a hatchet or a knife, whatever you have available. You just shave those puppies right off. Nice little curly cues, almost looks like hair. And the next thing you're gonna do is you are gonna start your teepee. This is where your hands and skill come into play. First, you wanna find a good little spot and create a teepee. And I always angle the teepee towards the back because I'm gonna need a space to start my fire. That way I can put my spark in the side. All right, so we have our small ones on. We're gonna add our bigger ones. Lean it back slightly. This is where, when you were a kid and you wanted to play castles with cards or house of cards, this would come in very handy. I just kind of want to angle it. Yeah, just kind of fall into place here eventually. There we go. Now we're going to grab a couple pieces of bigger wood, stick this on the back end, and there we have it. That is the start of your teepee. Now we're going to light it. Okay, so we're getting ready to start our fire, and we are going to be using a flint and steel mechanism that I found at a retail store. You can pick it up anywhere in the camping section of any store. I like to use this because I like to have fun. You can also use matches or a lighter if you don't want to do it this way. So let's go ahead and start our fire. Patience is the key here. All right, it should start catching you. So this fire should pretty much burn itself, so I shouldn't have to blow on it or anything. But if you do have a windy day, you may have to blow on the fire to kind of get things going. But it looks like this one may actually just take off. So what's going to happen is it's going to burn this small layer here, and eventually it's going to make its way to the outside. you know, don't be afraid to even add a few things if you wanted to. You can add a couple here, like smaller ones, just to kind of get things going. But you're gonna find that this is more or less gonna burn from the top, and it will collapse after a while, but that's okay. That's the nature of any fire, is things are gonna collapse, but it will continue to burn. If you find that this is too spread out, you could even move things in closer. I could even take this little thing here and just move it over to the side, and that's gonna help burn it from the bottom here and catch everything else on fire. And make sure that your wood is dry. If it is wet, it will not catch on fire like this. So if your wood is wet, you can light a fire in the rain. I've done it on the Appalachian Trail, actually. Of course, a lot of military training, but you can find some rocks and make yourself a little tiny alcove structure and put your fire underneath it and light it. If you need something to use as a fuel for your fire to get things going if it's wet, rubbing alcohol, which you should have in any of your first aid kits, even a alcohol prep pad would work just as well. And another weird source is peanuts. Peanuts have oil in them, and if you strike those, they will burn for quite some time. All right, so we are going to start the log cabin style fire. And the first thing you want to do is, just like on the last one, you kind of want to put your little structure here. And you want to lay a few pieces of wood across, like so. And this is going to be your foundation for the good stuff here to light your fire. So you're going to take this cotton ball, and then once you have this lit, you can take a few pieces and you want to lay it near the center because you want this to catch. You don't want to close that hole completely in the middle because you won't get a lot of airflow through the top. So just enough to get things going. And once this starts to catch on, you can add bigger pieces like this later. And if you wanted to, you can even add them on the sides like this. There we go. And that is your log cabin fire. And this will burn for a long time, and you don't have to worry about things falling over like you have with the teepee style fire.
Do you prefer a log or teepee?
I prefer, well, it depends on the situation. If you want a really fast fire, you want to go with the teepee style. But if you want something that's, you know, just a small fire, this is the way to go. This is more compact. It's not going to have a real high flame like the teepee, but in an emergency situation, I'm going to use the teepee fire every time.
Have you heard of the emerald ash borer or the Asian longhorn beetle? You probably haven't, but they are very harmful to our forest. These tree-killing insects hitch a ride on firewood and travel throughout our state and sometimes the rest of our country. So even if you can't see the adult insects, they are hiding in the firewood, the little larval insects. And so what we're asking you is to protect our forests and not move firewood. And so you might think it's too expensive to buy firewood at a local campground. You'd rather bring your own. But we really ask you, what is the cost if if you bring your own firewood and have these invasive insects spread throughout our forest, killing it. So think about it. What is the price we put on the health of our forests and our state parks?
Thanks for spending some time with us, learning some outdoor cooking. We hope you learned a lot of things and had a lot of fun. Until next time, I'm Drew.
I'm Bonita.
And we're the Goodwins.
Goodwins.